Hello, my Teaserking family. I apologize. I'm getting this internet problem. I have no idea. I was having audio problems before, but I think those are okay. So, what we were talking about, now let's start from the beginning again. Gold, 34.20, more choppy than it was. Yesterday was weird. It was line up, line up. Now it's the regular graph pattern that we're expecting. So it just is now it's down to 34.04, but we're not worried about it. We had 34.95 or 6, and then here comes the fixing of the of England, and then the U.S. now has the ball. It's the stupidest price I've ever seen. As I show you trading places, which shows you how orange juice goes from orange juice goes from 102 to 140 to 26. That's how the pricing go. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Why is COMEX being used to price anything? It's just bullshit. Just let the market do it like everything else. See, in COMEX, they're trying to price fix it. They want it at this price. Well, we don't want people to buy silver. Well, that's not your call. Your call is to shut up and get the hell out of the way and let people buy whatever they want and let the market price it at whatever it should be. And that's why everybody's frustrated with silver, because the market is clearly much higher than what 32.91 is where it's at now. I love how it's up a whopping 51 cents. Gold's up $90 and silver's up 50 cents. It is amazing. Gold just flew 31, 32, 33. Now it's 34. And we saw 34.95. I was getting excited, hoping for 35. But that's when China left. So I'm looking forward to China. See, it's all groups. So China has it from 6 p.m. to like 2 a.m. London has it from 2 a.m. to like 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. U.S. has it 10 a.m. to 5 or 5:30. So it's so stupid because everybody has their own agenda. But all China does is let the U.S. do it, and then they come in and buy cheap. So instead of buying at 34.95, they can buy at 34.04. Anyway, I don't get the JP Morgan trying to do the shorts, and I think it's just because it went up so much that there's room to go down. And that's really all it is. It's really kind of like I said, it's a very stupid way of pricing anything. That's why the market's always the best. You can't really just do this, and that's why silver is not at anywhere near a free market price. Let's look at the stock market. And the Dow's up 1,000 points. So yesterday it was down 1,200 points, ended down 900, and now it's up 1,000. And I love how they use as an example, well, Trump's tariffs and China is this, and Elon Musk did this, and Doggy did this, and this did that, and gold and whatever. And like that's the reason that the market's going up and down. It's all bullshit. Anyway, the Dow's at 39. It's a bullshit price. It's just a game. All right. Let's get some sports out of the way. It's 12:30. All right. So let's look at yesterday's results. I see the Pistons actually won. Detroit won 100 to 94, and the Clippers won 105, 102. Denver was a home dog, I think, of 1.5 or 2, so that lost. And Detroit getting the Knicks laying 6.5 lost. So now both series are tied at 1. So now you get the idea of the psychology. The loser plays harder. They have to win the next game. And that's what happened. So let's go to today. Milwaukee at Indiana. This Indiana win is up 1-0. According to what happened yesterday, should the series be tied at 1-1? Maybe. Indiana's 4.5, 228. I'm not really up on the offense, defense of the team, so I don't know if I should go over or under. Judging by this, yeah, I don't know. I mean, judging by this, Milwaukee would be the play because they lost the first game, but I'd still take Indiana. Memphis at Oklahoma City minus 14.5, and I would take them again. This is weird. Minnesota and the Lakers. Where's the other 1 and 2s? All right, so they switched them. So Oklahoma City minus 14.5, I would take them over Memphis. I think that'll be a sweep. And then Minnesota plays the Lakers, and the Lakers are 5.5. Minnesota won the first game, and I think they're a live dog here because I'm sure the Lakers played their best game and got killed. Minnesota has the good defense that we like, so I would stay away from Milwaukee, Indiana. I don't know enough. Oklahoma City, and then Minnesota as a 5.5 point dog. Why are they such a big dog after they just did it? So those would be the 2 in the NBA. Let's go to MLB. Again, the NFL draft is Thursday. Today is Tuesday. And let's look at yesterday's action. I know I lost on the Tigers. It's unbelievable. I mean, their shit pitcher pitched, and he pitched like shit. He threw 100 pitches in 4 innings. And but the problem was the San Diego pitcher gave up like 5 or 6 runs in 3 or 4 innings with his 1.0 ERA. So the bet was the 1 ERA against the pig on the Tigers. The pig on the Tigers played bad, but the 1 ERA that we're expecting gave up 6 runs, and I think it was what was the score? 6-4 Detroit. And that's the problem. You're betting on the pitcher, and he didn't pitch well. They got 4 runs, and Detroit got 6, so it was a surprise. But that's the rhyme. You're betting on the pitcher with the 1 ERA, and he didn't show up. All right, so let's look at it. Boston had already left. 4-2 they win against the White Sox, but that game started early because of the Boston Marathon. Cleveland 6, the Yankees 4. I have the Yankees over 8. That's a winner. Miami 6, the Reds 3. I have Miami under 8 because, yes, the pitchers were both 2.0 pitchers, and they gave up 9 runs. But usually that's because the bullpen comes in and gives up some runs. The Mets, Philadelphia. I have the Mets 2 units. That wins. They beat Philly 5-4. Aaron Nola sucks. McGill with the 109 ERA. They give up 4 to Philly. The Mets get 5 on Nola. Atlanta 7. The Cards 6. I have Atlanta. Pretty good day. 7-6. Atlanta wins. They've been hot. Houston under 7.5. That wins. They win 7-0, and I think I called that. Where I knew Hunter Brown with his 1 ERA, Gausman with the 3 ERA, Houston with only 2 hitters, Altuve and some other guy, and Toronto has a few hitters, and then Toronto gets shut out by Hunter Brown. See, now his 1.16, he shuts out Toronto. San Diego's 1.1 guy gave up 6 runs to the Tigers. And then Milwaukee, the 49ers won. We lost with that. Um, I don't know what happened in that game. So let's go through it. So we have the Yankees over 8 winner. We have Miami under 8 loser. We have San Diego as our 4-unit lock loser. We have the Mets as a 2-unit wins. We have Atlanta regular wins. We have Houston under 7.5, 2 units win. Milwaukee lose, but we don't have anything on it. So in our 3 plays, we lose 4 units on Detroit, and we win 2 on the Mets and 2 on Houston, and we break even. And I believe Houston was one of them was a live dog, or that might have been in another game. But so we break even we lose 4 units, we win 4 units. I've been doing a lot of that lately in baseball. Really tough. All right, 4 and 22. All right, 4 and 22. And we don't have any games until tonight. A lot of 6 and 7 o'clock games. I don't know why 6:10. Who's going? People work. What do you mean 6:10? All right. We have the Yankees at Cleveland. Yankees are minus 115. I don't know why. And over under of 8.5. We got Will Warren 1-0 with the 5.17 for the Yankees, and Tanner Bibby 1-2 with the 5.85. Over 8.5. We were over 8 yesterday. We got the win, and it's the same situation. I got 2 5 ERA pitchers going. How the hell are you not going to score 8.5? So we'll go right back with the Yankees over 8.5. And it's a simple play. The reason I played the Miami under was the same. It was 8 with 2 pitchers with 2 ERAs. And so, again, as we look at baseball, the biggest problem is they're all averages, earned run average, batting average. Forget this OPS, because I think it's just based on if the guy gets a hit, it's an extra base hit or something. Who cares? That's absolutely meaningless. What's his batting average? I mean, you could have a 220 hitter, but all he hits is extra base hits, strikes out all the time, and he's hitting, but his OPS is whatever, a high number, which you don't even know. I mean, what is an OPS that's meaningful? 500, 700, 800? I know a batting average in the 300s is meaningful. I don't know what an OPS number is. 500, is that good? That means every other hit he gets is extra bases. But if he hits 220, I don't really care. He's not breaking my lineup. All right. Cincinnati and Miami. Cincinnati minus 118, 8.5. We got Nick Martinez 0-3 with a 6 ERA against Edward Cabrera 0-1 with a 6.52 ERA. Again, you got the same scenario we had yesterday, so we're going to go, but this time we're going Miami over 8.5 with a 6 ERA pitcher and a 6.5 ERA pitcher. Should be a high-scoring game. We got San Diego at Detroit. San Diego 1.5, 105 favorite, over under 7.5. Surprisingly, yesterday the Tigers played a 10-run game. Normally, every game they play 7. Nick Pivetta for San Diego 3-1 again with the 1.57 ERA, and Joe Flaherty 1-1 with the 2.53 ERA. Again, I would think it's an under. Are we going to get Nick Pivetta to actually pitch a 1.57? That's the assumption we had yesterday. The expected outcome was the San Diego pitcher with the low ERA would keep the score low and that they would score a lot on Detroit's shit pitcher. Well, they did score a lot on Detroit's shit pitcher, but like here, Nick Pavetta's 3-1 with a 1.57. I'm not expecting Detroit to score a lot. Let's see, is he a righty or a lefty? Righty. Oh, he's a Canadian. Oh, Christ. I don't know what to do with Detroit. They're always trouble. San Diego can hit the shit out of the ball. I'm going to go with San Diego again, but I'm not going to play it. I'm certainly not locking. Detroit's like the Lions. Whatever you do, they do the other. They're a very inconsistent team. Baltimore and Washington. Baltimore minus 135.9. Dean Kramer, 2-2 with the 6.41 against Mitchell Parker, 2-1 with a 1.85. I got to go with Washington here. And I'll go 2 units on them. It's funny how the Detroit radio idiots keep saying how good Detroit is, and you're like they're 14-9. It's like they're an average team that's had a very weak schedule. Now we'll see how they do against San Diego. Although they did get the win yesterday somehow. They got all their minor league hitters, but they can't hit. If it's a lefty, they got to get them all out. And if it's a righty, they got to get them all out. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Seattle, Boston. Boston minus 130.9. Seattle, Bryce Miller, 1-2 with a 3.43. Brian Bello, 0-0 with an 0.00 for Boston. It's at Fenway. Seattle has no hitters, but they've been scoring much. When I look at Seattle's hitters, I mean, they got 8 guys that can't hit. But here's Fenway. And again, I don't know who Brian Bello is. So this is a game that's extremely hard to play. Seattle 1-2 with the 3.43. Bryce Miller. Over under 9, I can't get excited over with Seattle. And I don't know who Brian Bello is. And what if he could shut him out or give up 20 runs? So I'm going to lay that game away. Philly at the Mets, good series. Philly minus 135.8. The Mets are actually the better team here, 16-7. Philly's 13-10. Christopher Sanchez for Philly, 2-0 at the 2.96. Good pitcher. Griffin Canning, 2-1 with the 3.43 for the METS, Mets. Philly's a favorite, 135.8. I'm going to go under. I'm going to go Philly under 8. Had the Mets yesterday. They won a close one. Sanchez, well, it might go over, but we'll see. St. Louis and Atlanta, I have no pitchers. I cannot play. The Dodgers and the Cubbies, this is a very good series. Cubbies are 14-10. They hit the ball really well. Dodgers 128.5. Dustin May for the Dodgers, 1-1 with the 106. Shota Imanaga, 2-1 with the 2.22. But man, the Cubs hit. Cubs have 7 hitters and 1 guy who's not, and the Dodgers are 4-4. The Cubs can hit at home. Who's this Dustin May? 6'6", 180. What is he doing in baseball? Let's see. 5 innings, 1 run against Atlanta. 6 innings, 1 run against Washington, and 6 innings, 1 run against Colorado. This guy doesn't give up a lot of runs. Shotaga 2-1 with a 2-2. But it's Wrigley Field, and the over-under is 8.5. You almost got to go under because this guy looks like you don't get a lot of hits off of him. So I'm gonna have to go Cubbies under 8.5. I don't want to go under with the Cubs, but the bottom line is you always go pitcher. So if the pitcher's got a 106, we're going with him. The White Sox in Minnesota. Minnesota minus 250, 8.5. Big, huge favorite, Minnesota. Davis Martin, 1-2 with the 4.84, and Bailey Ober, 1-1 with the 6.16. You got to go over in this game. Over 8.5. I know Chicago doesn't hit well, but Ober with the 6.16 ERA, they're going to hit him for something. And Minnesota should probably kill the White Sox. Their bullpen's terrible. So they're like the Z team. They're actually 5-17 now. They won a few games. Colorado and Kansas City. KC minus 220 and 8. Ryan Feltner 0-1 with the 4.82 against Chris Bubik 2-1 with the 1.81. I got to go KC here. And I'll go 2 units on this game. Colorado's terrible. Toronto and Houston. Houston won yesterday. Toronto's a 120 favorite and 8 overall, over and under. Chris Bassett for Toronto, 2-0 with a .77 against Bianco, 1-2 with the 6.4. I'm going to go under in this game. Houston under 8. Now, I remember Bianco no-hit the Tigers last year, so he's capable of it. Toronto, Houston doesn't have any hitting but Altuve. Toronto only has 4 hitters. So I'm okay with the under there. All right, so Houston under 8. The Pirates and the Dodgers, and the Angels. California minus 200. Wow, 8.5. Is Pitt that bad? Bailey Falter, 1-2 with the 4.91 for Pitt. California Jose Soriano, 2-2 with the 3.16. I can't play. California minus 200. That's insane. Pittsburgh just doesn't hit. What does California got? Pittsburgh's got 2 hitters and 5 no-hitters, and California's got 3 hitters and 6 no-hitters. So there's not a lot, but the pitching stinks. I can't lay 200 with California, so I'm going to go under. I really don't know what to do. I'm going to go Pitt under 8.5. And we can have fun because we're not betting these. There's a couple we're betting, but most of them we're just getting a feel right now. Tampa Bay, Arizona. Arizona, huge favorite, 169. Zach Littell, 0-4 with a 5.48. Brandon Pfaadt, 3-1 with the 5.04. Does Tampa have hitting? Tampa, 5 hitters and 3. So Tampa's got hitting. Arizona, I believe, has a lot of hitting, 5-4. So you got some hitting in the game. You got some weak. But we're going to go over 9 here. I'm not sold on Brandon Pfaadt. P-F-A-A-D-T. But I'm still calling him Pfaadt. Green Bay and the 49ers again. Yesterday we played nobody. Oh, we played Milwaukee and lost. So Brett Favre had a bad game. So we got Montana today. Let's see. Frisco minus 147.5. Jose Quintana, 2-0 with a .71. That could be why we took Milwaukee yesterday. Jordan Hicks, 1-2 with the. So you got to go Green Bay in this game. I'm not betting it, but I got a pitcher with a under 1 ERA against the 6. Yeah, I think I'm betting that. And our last game, Texas and Oakland. Oakland minus 130 and 10. I think Oakland's better, but they got a 10-12 record. Patrick Corbin, 1-0 with the 3.86 against Oswald Cobblepot for Oakland, 2-1 with the 2.61. Let's see. I think Oakland can hit the ball. Oakland 4-4, and Texas 6-3. So Texas actually has some pretty good hitters. Oswald, 2.61, 3.86. 2. I'm going to go under 10. That's ridiculous. Oakland under 10. I mean, the pitching's not bad. We're only going to play 2 plays, so let's go through it. The Yankees over 8.5, Miami over 8.5, San Diego, Washington, Philly. I think Philly's an under. I didn't fully fill it in. Yeah, Philly's under 8. All I see is one line. The Cubbies under 8.5, Minnesota over 8.5, Kansas City, Houston under 8, Pitt under 8.5, Arizona over 9, Milwaukee, Oakland under 10. The 2 bets are take Washington 2 units, take Kansas City 2 units. So that'd be NBA and that'd be MLB. Let's check. We got the draft going tomorrow or Thursday. Do we really care about it? I don't know why people actually go to the draft. What are you saying? For Chicago, they select Joe Blow. Who cares? The thing is, you don't even know how good most of these guys don't make the team. This year's draft is terrible. You got maybe 20 guys that'll make a team. Quarterbacks suck. The running backs are good. The receivers suck. You might get, Dylan Gabriel, McLeod, Rourke might be good, Will Howard. You got a few quarterbacks, not Prime Jr., and certainly not Cam Ward. It's funny how everybody forgets Cam Ward at Washington State like it never existed. It only existed what he did in Miami. I mean, it's insanity. It's like Jordan Love. They're not looking at his senior season. He sucked at Utah State. And he's playing like it. So I don't know. They're really outstretching for. It's like Green Bay made a mistake with Jordan Love in the first round, and that's what you got. Anthony Richardson and Caleb and Fields and Mitch Trubisky. I mean, how do they pick these? Will the Saints draft a quarterback at number 9? You know what? We're going to find out. When they draft number 9, if they draft a quarterback, then they do. Otherwise, we don't give a fuck about this if and what and who and when. NFL draft, everything fans need to know before. The fans don't need to know anything, just who they draft. Milrose stinks, okay? I don't know. He's a good running quarterback. He's a good running back. Make him your running back. He's not a quarterback, right? So anybody drafting Milrose as a quarterback will be betting heavily against that team, just like we do Richardson and we do some of these other teams. And Drake May's not it. Drake May's a lot like Milroe. He can't throw, and he's a good runner. Well, the defense eventually starts blitzing, and that's it. These defensive coordinators, so just play. If I get Milrose, I'm blitzing him. Right? I'm putting an extra safety in the game, and I'm blitzing him because he can't throw the ball. Browns, Giants, fielding offer for number 2 and 3 picks. I would too, but I wouldn't trade with them. There's nothing to get 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. Peyton could be draft disruptor with eyes on a college star. What the hell does that mean? Oh, Sean Payton? No, he wants Gentry, basically. So all he needs is a running back, and they'll be right in the playoffs. Stafford. Devontae Adams says Rams offer true optimism versus just hoping. Well, if they got you, Devontae, they're good. Bucks. Belichick's North Carolina to play TCU in Dublin. Who cares? Steelers, Aaron Rodgers' situation won't impact draft. Well, because he's 37 years old. He's just there for a year or 2. I don't know. I don't see anything in this draft that Cam Ward will be a flop. I don't know what team will go to Tennessee. This is the same team that took Will Levis. Enough said. All right. So I don't like these videos like Alligator. Silver will make you a millionaire on this day. Those are just bullshit to get you to watch. There's no date. You can't say on this date. It's right now still price fixed. And if you're going to wait, you got a long wait for silver because as you can see, it's still price fixed. So we've got 44 nations ready to join Brics. Now you already have 10 nations in Brics, so that gives you 54. That's a whole lot. They'll all need gold to join. I like that as part of the membership. This keeps a big demand for gold because the only currency they can use is this gold-backed currency. If it's a stable coin or a dollar or both, and I'm sure silver will be involved in it too. Because you can't go to the grocery store with gold. You need silver because gold's it's now worth 3,400. Now there's a May meeting in South Africa, and then to prepare for the July 17th meeting in Brazil, where they're going to talk about the gold-backed currency and any other nations that are joining and the tariffs and everything else. So it'll be a hodgepodge of things, but Brazil, they're in it too. They've already started with the gold-backed currency. That's already started. China's been doing it with some of the countries. I think Russia's starting to do theirs. It's mostly trade amongst countries. So what will they have in China and in Russia? Are they going to have gold-backed currency? I would imagine so. I would imagine that their currencies are shit. But we got two things going on here. We got trade. China wants Russia's oil. They're going to pay them in the gold-backed stablecoin. That'll be done electronically. And then you're visiting Russia and you want to go out to dinner, and then you'll have that currency. So I think there's two currencies going on, one for trade and one for regular. Where the dollar is the same thing. I mean, you go out electronically and go to Kroger's and buy your groceries or go to dinner. But if I want to buy something, it's probably just an electric transfer. You're transferring the funds over to China for whatever Intel processors or whatever. It's funny how Trump is. He's sitting there like everything's fine, and everything's far from it. All right. So we got 44 nations getting ready to join Brics. I know they've added Cuba. Saudi Arabia finally joined. They were up in the air. And I want to thank Korea joined, Vietnam joined. So you're getting some pretty big countries in there. and it's all over. It's Latin America, it's Asia, it's Africa. A lot of the African countries are joining. So this is getting pretty big. And, I'm not going to be surprised if Italy, France, and Germany don't join. So it'll be the U.S., Canada, and England. And Canada is basically England. And I'm starting to understand that most of the U.S. is really England. I mean, if you look at the FX rate, the dollar, uh, why is the pound always more than the dollar when their economy is in trouble? They got hyperinflation there. Why is it better in England than it is in the US? So I never could understand how the US only buys 79 cents of the British pound. Nothing makes sense there. Tariffs will kill the economy all over. We're in a recession now. See, they won't call it a recession because they don't want to panic people. It's like when the stock market starts, like today, it's up 1,000. Why is it up 1,000? Nothing changed. The economy's still crap, but they print money, put it in the market, say, look, everything's fine. I don't really know what's going on with that. So I'm going to show you guys again.
Because right now you should buy gold, not sell, and you should sell. When should you sell gold? That is a very interesting question because right now you should buy gold, not sell. And you should sell gold when all major economies running budget surpluses and have no debts and when there's no money printing. That is the same time as elephants fly. It is not going to happen in the very near future, like the next 10 years or so. So for the next 10 or maybe longer years, you should keep your gold and don't think about selling it. There might be times when gold is overbought, but that is not going to happen in the next few decades.
Orthopedic expert.
Well, also, the only way that doesn't happen is when you have gold, right? Because gold does that. You can't go over budget. You can't print it, right? You can't have inflation. So what he's saying is if you have gold, that'll be it. So Trump with his 245% tariffs is crazy. We saw this, Mark McGuire, I think I showed it Saturday. It was on Thursday. The gold market was closed Friday, and it really rose yesterday. And now it's coming back down, which is, we know. Here's a good Stoic one for us.
They left you on red. Before you send that desperate text, stop. Ancient Stoics had a better way. Marcus Aurelius got ignored too. His response? Cold, effective, and it'll work for you. When someone ghosts you, your brain screams, fix it now. But begging makes you look weak. They can smell the neediness. Here's the Stoic move. Send one message. Your silence is my answer. I respect it. Then disappear. No follow-ups, no explanations. When Seneca was ignored, he wrote, I take silence as instruction. The guy replied within hours. Why? Because Seneca held power by walking away. Your dignity is worth more than their reply. Keep your power. Don't chase. Want more ways to stay unshaken? Hit subscribe. One Stoic tip every day.
She'll smile.
So I know I have this problem with Daria, but I don't think she's ghosting me. It's just she's in Russia, and you get all like, why aren't you responding? So I watched that, and then I just sent a simple text like, don't forget me, or something like that. Have a nice day. I'm just being nice. And she started freaking out. She's like, oh, no, yeah. No, I'm with you. And it's just, and I don't think she's ghosting me. I just think she's busy. There's a difference between they're ghosting you and they're busy. And that's what you got to learn and understand from the girl, if she's mean like that or she's just busy. So I know Daria, I don't think she ghosts me. I just think, like today, she finally got her thing done, supposedly. So I said, so she says, good morning, I love you, whatever. I says, good luck on the thing. Now she's probably whatever they did to take off the little, I guess it was a cyst or something. So she's not ghosting me. She's probably sedated and she'll probably go home and go to sleep and is glad it's over. I said, happy, it'll be happy when it's over. So that's being stoic. Let's go. What is going on? Here's a good way to deal. 7 clever ways to deal with toxic people.
Toxic people drain your energy, cloud your peace, and test your patience. But a wise mind doesn't react. It responds. Here are 7 clever stoic ways to deal with toxic people without losing yourself. 1. Stay calm. Their chaos thrives on your reaction. Stay still, stay unreadable. 2. Set boundaries. Silence can be a wall. Make it clear where you stand. 3. Don't explain yourself. You owe no one your peace. Let your actions speak. 4. Limit exposure. Proximity fuels poison. Distance is clarity. 5. Respond with logic, not emotion. Argue with facts, not fire. 6. Observe, don't absorb. Don't let their storm inside your mind. 7. Leave when needed. Even Marcus Aurelius walked away from noise. So can you. Be calm. Be calculated. Be free. Toxic people drain your energy, cloud your peace, and test your patience. But a wise mind doesn't react. It responds. Here are 7 clever stoic ways to deal with toxic people without losing yourself. 1. Stay calm. Their chaos thrives on your reaction. Stay still, stay unreadable. 2. Set boundaries. Silence can be a wall. Make it clear where you stand. 3. Don't explain yourself. You owe no one your peace. Let your actions speak. 4. Limit exposure. Proximity fuels poison. Distance is clarity. 5. Respond with logic, not emotion. Argue with facts, not fire. 6. Observe, don't absorb. Don't let their storm inside your mind. 7. Leave when needed. Even Marcus Aurelius walked away from noise. So can you. Be calm.
So you're dealing with the vampire. That's somebody who just talks and talks about nothing. It's not like, hey, what are you doing for dinner? Let's go get dinner. It's yap, 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 yap. There's always a lady at the hot tub, or we get a few vampires here, and they just rumble on, and you basically. My mother was like that. She would talk about nothing. She probably couldn't hear, probably couldn't stand the quiet. So she'd talk about the stupidest things. Did you see that movie with that? No, who cares? It wasn't a good movie. It was just some obscure thing. And they would just talk, and you'd be like, you're not talking about anything. We talk about tariffs or China or Brics or gold. Okay, it's important and it makes sense. And we teach it that why is it important? And we go through the steps. And we go through our cards and we go, this is why it's worth something. It's good condition. It's highly demanded. So we talk a lot about the market, but that's important stuff. I'm not just talking about, oh, it's sunny outside and I'm going to go mow the lawn. Then I'm going to run to Target, and I need shampoo or something. I mean, that's the then it just weighs on you and it drains you. So that's what you're trying to get. Those type of people, it's hard to stop them. They just talk. I was talking to a lifeguard yesterday, an older woman, about my unemployment. I says, I did it, but they have to validate I actually worked there and probably that I left because the position was eliminated. And she starts talking about her experience or her friend's experience. And I'm like, I don't care. My question was, so they just hold my first pay. Once we verify everything you said, then every other week you do unemployment, it'll go through. They're not really looking at, did I apply at General Motors as much as, well, I did work at Tenneco and the position got eliminated. I didn't do anything wrong. I should get my unemployment. Fine. And that's what I believe is. And then after that, so I don't think they're looking at, did I actually apply at General Motors? Not to hold them, because they kind of said it's really just the first check. So I think it's looking at that. But it was like she kept rambling on and on and on. I was like, I just walked away. I was like, I got to go. I can't sit here all day and listen to a story that's meaningless. So I think is it meaningless or is it not meaningless? When I talk gold, I get listeners. When I talk football, as we talk baseball and basketball, we talk sports. Okay, we have an interest in it, and does it help? Yes. Is it something worth listening to? Yes. And that's what we have. I talked about comments yesterday, how it makes this where I'm actually answering questions, but they're live, and I don't see any today, so I always worry. But I sit there, and that's what I like. Now, if somebody came on and gave a question, what do you think of Brics or gold or silver? Then I could give an answer. Let's see. See again here, silver will make you a millionaire. How's it going to make me? Oh, there's demand for it. See, these are the ones I get frustrated. And notice that they've had that on 4 or 5 times. Andy Scheckman, Alligator, there's a few that have silver will make you a millionaire. And nothing's going to happen until COMEX gets blown up and it goes to a free market. In a free market, you need silver is because you got to get out of the dollar. So it's the same thing. This is worthless. What do I get into? You get into gold and silver because they are money. They can't be inflated. So that's why you get into both. Right now, everybody's going into gold because of Basel III. They have to deliver the next day. So they go, give me delivery of the gold. I want the physical. And that's why the price is running up. But they haven't done it in silver yet. So it's not that complicated. That's why silver's not going. So to say you're going to be a millionaire, silver will make you a millionaire, no, that's horseshit. How is it going to make me a millionaire when it's not going to run? It'll make me a millionaire once COMEX is broken. Once they let silver be Basel III, and that's coming July 1st. Once that happens, then you'll see silver run like you see gold run. But until then, you just don't see it. It's not going to, it ran to 32. What was it close? It was 33 I saw. But they ain't going anywhere. And then it gets shot down. But that's what happens. Let's see. Let's go back to what's happening in gold. It's 1 o'clock. Probably getting stable. Oh, it's back to 34.31. No, that's 11 o'clock. 33.91. Okay. Silver's 32.82. Gold's 33.91. So it shot down to 33.80, and now it's starting to move back. It'll be back in the 34s. And again, it's weird. How can there be demand making it almost 3,500, and then it just slides back? That's the whole problem with the whole game is people are shorting it because they can short it at 3,500, knock it down to 34, and then here comes the calls are now coming in at 33.80. They're now going, okay, we'll buy it now. So they let it run down so they could buy it cheap. So it's really, it really went up a lot. I'll short it. And then when it drops down, it dropped down almost 100 from 34.90 to 33.90. And it dropped 100. And now it's starting its way back up. But then it'll go. There's more buyers than sellers. And again, this is a game where it just does this, so they make money. This is the problem with it. It's why is it derivatives? You'll never see this card do that. If this card's 80 grand, let's say it's a 9, you're never going to see it drop down to 20,000 and then go back to 80 and then 20 and 80. No, it's 80 and that's it. Once it's a real asset and it gets its price, then that's where it stops. It doesn't dip all the way, which is strange. See, that's why this has to be priced so this has to be an auction. That's what this should be, but this is not an auction. You might think it's an auction. It's not an auction. This is just derivatives. This is just bullshit. I'll show you Eddie Murphy because let's see what we can see here. So this is trading places with the orange juice.
Hey, the Dukes are trying to put in the market. Ain't no something. I think let's get in on it.
See, he's buying the price up. See, and that's what we want we want the what do you call it? The panic. I'm going to hold it for a minute. Why can't I pause this? Well, I can't pause it. But. So my point here, this isn't an auction, right? So the Dukes are buying the orange juice because they think that the crops are going to come in damaged and the supply will go down, forcing the price to go up. So they're buying. But that's not what really is happening. There's not damage and the supply will not go down. It'll stay the same and prices are stable. Now, I don't know how it goes from 102 to 26 if no change was made, but this is not an auction. This is COMEX from orange juice, is not an auction like the Hank Aaron card or the Willie Mays card. This is strictly what the market says. I'm going to sell it. What does the market buy it for? If that's not what's happening here with orange juice or with gold or silver, there is no auction. There is no market. This is just some guys buying and selling derivatives. And you can see now the frenzy going on, which is what we're waiting for with gold going up. But that's the whole difference. This is not an auction. I'm selling this frozen orange juice can and, go from there. And that's the thing. Did your connection get dropped before? Yeah. It just lingered on for a while where it said internet problem. And after about 2 minutes, I just said it's fucked anyway, and I ended it. That's what I'm going to do. After this, I'll delete it. But I had trouble with my audio twice, and then it internet me, and now I'm fine. So I really don't know. But yeah, you couldn't hear it. So yeah, I went out, but I got to delete it. Anyway, so this isn't an auction like this would be. I put this on auction. Who bids for it? And it wouldn't go from 142 to 29. This I put on auction for $80,000. I'm either going to get 80, I maybe get 85. I'm not going to get 30 or 40. I mean, the auction is what it was selling for. So for this orange juice to go from 102 to 142, knowing the crop reports due out, why would people be buying? Then they start selling at 142. Why all of a sudden are all the people buying their options? Why are you buying it? Why did you buy in the first place? So you bought the price up, the price went up, and now it's coming down, and now you're buying because they're selling. And why are you panicking? You don't know what's happening. If you don't know what's happening, if the crop report's due out in 10 minutes, I would wait for the crop report to come out. How many times do I do that with football when the quarterback's injured, but he's a game time decision, Cam Rising? How many times do we wait? Well, I can't bet it until I know what's going on. Same thing here. Why are these guys jumping on it when they haven't heard the crop report yet? A lot of holes to this story. All right. See, Wilson's still buying. Why is the price going down when they're the only two selling? I don't understand. And how would Eddie Murphy know what to do? The guy was a con man. So again, why would this come in the middle of the session? Now this is a 5-minute video, so this is a 5-minute session, which doesn't make any sense. But why would it not start with this and then go bid it? So you're gonna bid for 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then you're gonna find the report. Oh shit, it's not what we thought, and then we're gonna go the other way. I mean, the whole thing makes no sense. But that's what we're looking at with gold and silver is this is how they're pricing it with the derivatives. But the bidders are all Chinese going, I'll buy it, I'll buy it, I'll buy it. So as it goes down, and sometimes they let it go down and then buy it cheaper.
Ladies and gentlemen, the orange crop estimates for the next year. After calculating the estimates from various orange producing states, we have concluded the following. The cold winter has apparently not affected the orange harvest.
Therefore, supply won't go down. Therefore, the price should not be going up based on small supply. And that's what we're waiting is panic for gold and silver. So until COMEX does this, why would silver go up? Because as soon as silver starts going up, JP Morgan starts pushing it down. JP Morgan starts going, no, so the JP Morgan guys are selling. That's why we don't see silver going up. They can't do it in gold. There's too many Chinese buyers going, I'm buying, and I want delivery. But in silver, you can't force delivery. Plus, there's too many guys selling silver and not as many buying, because you can't take delivery. So the interest to buy the silver is not, it's strong, but they're going right to the mines. They're not going here. See, now all these people are selling. Now this should force the price. This is silver right now. Everybody's selling. And then look at the price go down. But look how it's controlled. This is ridiculous. Why is he an idiot? He did what you told him to do. Okay, so they made money because they sold at 142, bought at 29. Why the craft report came out in the middle makes no sense. Why anybody would buy in the beginning, except for Duke and Duke, makes no sense. And then they're reacting to the craft report is going to be fine and there's no supply damage. And then everybody sells. And you can see, how the hell do you get a price of orange juice when it goes from 10? How is it 102 up to 140 down to 29? How are you pricing that? That makes no, this whole thing is bullshit. COMEX, not the movie, but COMEX. The movie's good, as you can kind of see. So what's happening in silver is all these Chinese, in gold, all the Chinese are buying, forcing the price up. In silver, they're all selling. But that's not a market. This isn't a market. This is not orange juice at now it's at $26 or whatever it closed at for the contracts, but not in reality. Orange juice. So the orange juice price dropped for what reason? So anyway, that's the problem with silver. So you're going to say you're going to be a millionaire. How the hell are you going to get the panic sellers out of it to allow the price to go up? So that's what we're fighting with silver. We got all these people sell, lower price, but they do it every day, and it's all bullshit because there's no silver changing hands. There's just more people selling than buying to keep the price down. What the fuck kind of system is this? So how can you say this day they're going to be millionaires or you'll be millionaires? You're not going to be millionaires with silver until we blow up this system and we go to this system and we go, well, what do you want for the gold? What do you want for the silver? And then there's a buyer who is not JP Morgan buying it, and off you go. So that's really what's happening to us and why it's being held down, is because the sellers are coming in saying sell. But the buyers can't really buy because there's all this selling going on. And with all the selling going on, you then have what are you going to do? So I can't really buy into all the sellers expecting to make money. That's the problem. So we have to break that. Now we broke it in gold because of Basel III, and he had to take the delivery. So now when Eddie Murphy sells, the people want the gold, or they want the orange juice. And now how active is he going to be selling when he's got to actually come up with the physical? So anyway, that's the mess that we have in gold and silver and coffee and orange juice, and it's a mess. And this system should be blown up. Why isn't it just a free market? So Duke and Duke can make commissions on everybody if they buy or sell. So a lot of these orders apparently are coming in from people buying it. Customers going, buy orange juice, buy bacon, buy gold, buy silver. So people are asking to buy it, but they're not taking delivery. So it's all paper, and which is ridiculous. So that's the problem we're fighting now. In gold, we're fighting it fine. Silver's got a ways to go until we get rid of this shit. I think it's close because a lot of people are taking the delivery and causing that to go, but that's where we're at now, unfortunately. Well, there we go, 3407. See, now here comes the move up. So now Duke and Duke have sold it down, and now Eddie Murphy is going, okay, we'll buy him now. Come on, buy him. And this is all bullshit. The 3490 we saw at 2 a.m. wasn't real, and the 3380 we saw at 12:30 isn't real. And the 3407 we're seeing isn't real. What is the real price of gold and silver? We need to do an auction where we actually, how much will you give me for the gold? And the problem is, even on eBay, or if I go to the guy's store, he's taking this 3407 price and marking it up $100, and he has no clue, right? Well, that's what Comex says. I'm going to take my price from Comex, and you shake your head going, that's not, but this, and what in my mind, I'm going, but this isn't a real price. The demand is much higher. The supply is very tight. And this is just based on Eddie Murphy, right? Doing derivatives, buying and selling. Look how he sold at 142 and then he bought at like 46. So he sold and bought in the same 5-minute period. So how do you get a real price? And that's where our edge is that this price isn't right. 3407 is not a real price. It's a price now in Comex, but the real price as a gold and silver, like I say, is way up here. Silver's real price is not, but in this Eddie Murphy price, I'm selling silver. That's the price that we come up with is $32.92. If you put it in a free market where, okay, I want to sell and you get real silver, if you get to the real physical market, the price is much, much higher. It's $1,000, $2,000 an ounce. Because of that's where you get the supply and demand. And the options, you don't really get supply and demand. I'm not calling in an order going, oh, buy me whatever, buy me 10 ounces of silver. That's not what's happening. Nobody's buying 16 ounces of Hills Brothers coffee. That's not a Sanka. Nobody's buying that. They're just buying the whole bulk. So anyway, that's what we've got with that. So that's why it's not real. And that's why we know the price is much higher, because as you can see, when they lowered it from 142 to 26, was that a real price? No. Why did it go down? Because the crop report was normal. Why was it at 102 then? It should have been at 26. And why did it go up? If nobody knows, if you're waiting for a crop report, nobody should have bought. Maybe the Duke and Duke guy, but that's it. So that's the problem what we're dealing with. So will silver make you a millionaire? When COMEX gets blown up, then yes. In the meantime, gold is having its fun as it's going through. So looks like we're staying in the 34s with gold. So we're looking, it got to 35, it'll get there again, and then we'll just keep going till it hits 4,000, until it hits 5,000. This pattern should just keep playing out because there's a lot more buyers of gold, of real physical gold. And when they do these derivatives, you ask for physical delivery, they actually have to give you the physical gold. And they don't in silver yet, but as soon as they have to deliver the silver July 1st, that's when you'll have it. So as I pointed out, Brics has a meeting in South Africa, and I think early May, and then in Brazil, July 17th. So circle your calendar there. And that's when we'll see the bigger move then. And we'll go from there. So that's what we have. Baseball, again, we have 2 picks, Washington and Kansas City, both just 2 units, very small. We're trying to get, we realize the problem with baseball is its averages, batting averages, ER, earned run average. That's the 2 thing. We don't look at WAR or whatever that is. I don't even know what it is. We don't look at OPS, which I don't even know what that stands for. Other people's services. I mean, what is OPS? All I care about is batting average and home runs and earned run average. And but because it's so young in the season, the averages are skewed right now. And again, it's against who you're playing. So if you're playing, San Diego and Detroit, but when San Diego plays Oakland, it's a different game, or San Francisco. And when Detroit plays Chicago or Minnesota or the Yankees. So it's all different pair-ups. So you got to know how a team plays against that team. And it's just too overwhelming right now. In baseball, even if you looked at it, you really don't have good sound numbers. That's what's coming. So anyway, we will see. Off to the pool and dinner later, meeting Alyssa. See how Daria does. See, I'm trying to not vampire, seeing how Daria did with her thing. I says it'll be nice to get it over. And the thing is with Daria, how I know she's real, she'll show me. She'll say, look, here's what happened. Or if I say, show me a picture, she'll show me the picture. She's always good about that. Like if I bought her wallpaper, so her rent wouldn't go up. And she shows me the wallpaper, And so I thought it was, so she's very honest. I know some people think, well, she's just wants the money and doesn't want to meet. I go, she's scared to meet. So I've asked her to meet in Georgia, which is a country next to Russia, where we both should have no problems. So I'm waiting to hear that. She wants the war to end. I go, look, it looks like this war is not going to end anytime soon. So I'm not going to wait 5 years for the war to end. Let's meet now. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's baseball. We talked basketball. The NFL draft is tomorrow and all that. And I don't even care about it. I won't watch. First of all, ESPN I don't get because my Spectrum has it and I don't get it. Secondly, I don't care. I don't need to watch the bullshit hype and this and watch the people and get the interviews. How are you feeling? You got drafted first. How does it feel to be drafted first? I'm a fucking millionaire. How do you think it feels? I mean, the stupidest questions. The whole media is ridiculous. So that's kind of where you're at with it, is just tell me who got picked where. So we'll go through it. Friday, we'll go through what happened on the first round and on the weekend. I normally do draft videos. This one will be very well, there's like 5 players in the draft that will make a difference. None of the offensive linemen, a few of the edge rushers, and the running backs, and maybe 2 or 3 quarterbacks, and a couple of running backs, and very little wide receivers. Profit. There is talk now Dallas may trade up to take Jacksonville's pick at number 5 and take Gentry. Well, put it this way, I don't know where Dallas is picking because they can't be that low. What are they, 10 or 11? See, but if I was Jacksonville, I would take Gentry. This is not a draft you trade down for because there's nobody there that you're going to take. I mean, this is just a very weak draft. So I don't want more picks in this draft. If I do anything, I want next year's number 1, and hopefully there's more players in it. I'm not sure, but then what's happening is the whole NIL shit where the players are transferring school. Like Dagi Opava is playing his 6th year now. And so that's what's hurting also. These players, like Dylan Gabriel played his 6th year. Why wasn't he in the draft last year? And he played for Oregon. So I think Will Howard and I think Gabriel and McLeod and Chandler Morris are your big 4 quarterbacks. Curtis Rourke should be good. Shell should be good. And then you're losing me with Dart, Prime Jr., and there's no way Prime Jr. is better than Dylan Gabriel. If Dylan Gabriel is a 3rd-round pick, Prime Jr. should be a 5th-round pick. Curtis Rourke should definitely be 2nd-round pick. I know they keep trying to make them all Cleveland needs a quarterback. They'll draft Prime Jr. He's not a 1st round. He's not a 2nd pick. That's what the Giants did with Daniel Jones. What was that? You could have drafted him in the 7th round. You put him in the 1st round in the 6th pick, and then you wonder why the Giants suck because they wasted a pick on Daniel Jones, who was not a very good quarterback. Jax is projected to take a defensive tackle. That's probably the only thing worthy to take. Jacksonville's problem is Trevor Lawrence, as we know. He's terrible. He wasn't ever a really good thrower. I remember watching him against Ohio State in those games. He would run, but he wasn't a good quarterback. And I think that's what you have here. For some reason, these GMs are more worried about, are they athletes than are they quarterbacks? So the real good ones like Joe Burrow and Mahomes, they're not. That's where Gabriel's not maybe as fast as these other guys. So he's being left behind, but they're looking in the wrong spot. He's a good quarterback. Excellent thrower. Tyler Shaw, excellent. Or Rourke from Indiana. McLeod is very good as a quarterback and he can run. And Chandler Morris, never seen, but I see his stats. And he was, North Texas would put up 45 for us every week. You can bet them over and over and over. The same thing with Texas State. I remember a lot with Texas State when they played some shit team. We were laying 30 points, and they put up 60 with McLeod because he was playing. That's really what you're looking for. So, Jacksonville has no idea what they're doing. And this is the problem with most teams. They make the pick and they own the pick. Well, we drafted Mitch Trubisky, the Bears. They kept him for like 3 or 4 years. Then the Steelers are dumb enough to sign him. Oh, we'll take him from the Bears. We'll see if he'll be good for us. No, he sucks. Then you got Fields. It's the same thing. He never should have been drafted in the 1st round. He was never a 1st-round pick. He can't throw the ball. And so then you got Fields. See, you got to look at Ohio State, and what they do is not what you do in the pros. And that's what I'm arguing about with Cam Ward. And that's what Prime Jr. is going to be. They're not pro offenses, so you're not going to get that. And then my argument with the other guy on Prime Junior's team, the receiver cornerback, is he's going to play one, and I don't want to waste a top 10 pick with a receiver or a cornerback. You don't do it. These guys get injured. What happens if he gets injured? You've lost two positions? Really? You're going to play him at two positions. That's bullshit. You're not playing him at two. Depending on the team, he's probably going to be a cornerback because that's much more valuable than a wide receiver. You can get a wide receiver from Texas Tech in the 5th round, and you're fine. And that's, I think, what it is. Anyway, gold 34.01, slipping, but it's minor. It jumped so high that we got to 3,400. I mean, it should theoretically be like 33.20, right? It was 33.11 over the weekend, and then it almost went to 3,500. So yeah, it was probably a little early to get all the way to 35, but it sure felt good. I know I kept refreshing, and every time I did, it would go up another $10, $20. But I don't get why the U.S. is, doing shorts on the derivatives. It doesn't make any sense. I guess they make a little bit of money buying it at 34.80 and then selling it at 34. I guess that's all they're doing, but just buy the fucking physical and you'd be fine. So the problem is with most of the draft picks don't do anything. But when you got Jacksonville married to Trevor Lawrence, Miami married to Tagovailoa, these guys aren't very good, right? And if they're not very good, why do you hold them? Why do you keep them? You shouldn't. Profit. But if Gentry is gone when the Raiders picked, they may take Sanders with their first pick. God, why would they take Sanders? They need like another defensive lineman for Crosby. They need Dylan Gabriel. You've got Brock Bowers. It's funny how San Diego needs a receiver, and I'm going, well, I told you if they would have drafted Brock Bowers last year, it's far easier to get an offensive lineman in the 4th round from Notre Dame than it is in the 1st round, especially you're not going to find a Brock Bowers for another 10 years. You had him. You could have drafted Brock Bowers. What the fuck are you doing to draft a guard, which you could have drafted, like I said, in the 4th, you could draft them this year. These people, these teams that draft these offensive linemen in the 1st round have their head up their ass. I mean, what are you doing? You can't tell me the 1st round offensive lineman and the 5th round offensive lineman, both from Penn State, are any different. Or the 1st rounder from Ohio. Why are they all drafting linemen from Ohio State? What's so good about them? I mean, they're not any spectacular. They're not any better than the Michigan line or the Iowa line or the Penn State line, are they? And if they are, tell me what do you see that makes it that? But I mean, all I can say, Profit, is I wouldn't worry about the Raiders. Whoever they draft. And they have options of Gentry and Scatterboo, and they can draft Dylan Gabriel. So there's a lot of them, and they don't draft, what are they, 10 or 11 or something? Now you got Coach Pete. Look for him to get a good quarterback. I can't believe Seattle's totally fucked up. So they let Coach Pete go, and then they let DK Metcalf go and Tyler Lockett, and then you let Geno Smith go. So you have no quarterback, and you've lost all your receivers. What the hell are you doing? And you don't have a defense. Oh, if Oakland drafts number 6, they'll be fine. I mean, I wouldn't trade for that. Jacksonville's 5, and Oakland 7. I wouldn't trade at all. All right, I'm either going to get Gabriel or I'm going to get Gentry, or I can get Scatterboo. Okay, what's the problem? Where there's the defensive lineman from Ole Miss and the defensive lineman from Tennessee. Okay, so I'm fine. I'll get somebody there. So I wouldn't trade a pick to move up. I need more picks. God knows Coach Pete needs a lot of talent. But anyway, that's what that is. So, any news on your gold? When's it coming? When it isn't coming? It's nice that you could potentially get the gold bars in, or your girl could get the gold bars in. What about you, Prophet? What do you? Did you get 5 bars? You get 10 bars? It's like Alyssa today got a job at Walmart. And I said, well, how much are you going to get paid? And she says, I don't know yet. They're going to send me an offer letter. I says, that's the one thing you should know is what your pay rate is. What if it's $2 an hour? You're going to work there? And so that's the thing. I had my interview earlier, and I says right away, I want to make 110. Right? If you're looking at paying me $30 an hour, go fuck yourself. Then I'm going to end the call because I'm wasting my time with you. They said, no, 55 should be fine. I said, okay. Deb wants this wedding thing done first. Well, you have to have it done to get the gold. If what you're telling me is that she needs to be married in order to get the gold, this seems really, really strange to me. But you've got to know that you're getting the gold. In other words, if you're getting married to get the gold, then you need to understand it. Okay, how much am I getting? Or I'm going to marry you and you get all the gold, I don't get anything. Then do you want to marry her without that? And I know you said you did, but it's things that need to be discussed. Like I said with Alyssa, you should know what the rate of pay is. You shouldn't get surprised by this. So I'm glad she wants to work. She's at the Secretary of State now, trying to drive, and hopefully she gets that. Then she can drive herself down to the clinic, which I hate. It's like she puts me to work to come spend some time with her. Anyway, so as soon as I hear from Daria, here's the problem. It's 2:00 here. I think it's either 9 or 10 p.m. in Russia. So I normally hear when I'm sleeping, she's texting me, which I don't really like, but I guess I do like. At least I hear from her, because I can't really have a conversation with her at 2 in the morning because I'm sleeping. Anyway, in her dad's will, it says married or engaged. Yeah, this I understand, but okay, I'm going to marry you. How much gold do I get? Or, it's like Carmen wanted to marry me for a green card. And I was like, I'm not going to jail for you. I'm not going. If the only reason we're getting married is to get a green card, then I'm not going to marry you. I mean, if you love me and you want to spend life together and have a good time, and then we can get a green card, fine. But it came across like, well, if I marry you, I can get a green card, which was her big thing. And that's all I'm saying. So you should know up front. All right, tell me about the gold. Is it our gold? Is it your gold? Do I get any? Because at the end of the day, it's going to piss you off. You're going to marry her and she keeps all the gold to herself, and you got to sign a prenup or something. You're not going to be happy. You're going to want some of that gold, knowing what it's worth and how easy your life can be with it. So that's all. That's my only argument. Is I would make sure I understand that. Or now everything can change, but at least have an idea, because you're the one asked to pay for the shipping. So you're getting used, right? Oh, I got to pay for the shipping to ship the bars to me, and then I got to ship them to you. So I got to do another shipping. And as the values keep going up, the insurance has to be going up. As the inflation keeps happening, and with tariffs, maybe the price of the postage goes up. And so you gotta know that, oh, I get 5 bars. Oh, well, then who cares, right? If I don't get any bars, Now I'm out 4,000 plus some other money, and I don't get it. And how am I? How do I get paid back? I'm not running a charity where I'm just going to give you the money, especially if I have to pay for all the shipping. Once I have them, they ain't going anywhere. Well, I don't know. That's the point. So you're going to get them in shipping. Are you keeping them? But this is after you're married, so she's going to want her share. Um, this is the thing. I mean, you got to marry her because you want to be with her, which you said you do. So then it becomes, I'm paying for the shipping to get the gold. How much? What's my cut here? In other words, why am I elected to pay for the shipping? This is what you want to know, and that's the key point. Yes, until I get a prenup agreement. Well, you need something that says I get 10 bars or I get 5 bars. What do I get for the paying for the shipping? Do I just get reimbursed? But by whom? Why am I paying for the shipping in the first place? So you got to get rewarded for paying for the shipping and for marrying her so she gets the gold bars. Now, is this a business transaction versus the normal wedding where you're both broke and you get married and you're happy that way? Yeah, half the bars for sure. Well, that's what you say. Let's see what she says. Well, what does the will say? Does the will say you get half the bars? Or this is just what you're hoping for, right? So we'll see, but that's where it's at. Anyway, I see how gold ran yesterday. Now it's kind of coming back, but it's where it was. Anywhere in the 34s, I'm happy with. I think I wrote it wrong. I put 33 something in my inventory list. 3403. I keep getting these strange. So I just got a, what are these called? Telegram. But I read the phone number and it's Russian. She registered October 2024. I don't know who this is. It says, guess who I am, old friend. Oh, okay. Daria's. I'm having a busy minute. So Daria's going to tell me. The doctor told me to come back next week. There will be free places for the operation. I am good. How are you? The doctor told me to come back next week. There will be free places for the operation. She doesn't have to pay for the operation. It's free in Russia. She's good. How am I today? I'm fine. So this is a little confusing because she was supposed to have the operation. She said, I'm going today. But at least I get what's going on, right? So she tells me about the operation. See, then you get something like this. Last chance to buy silver. Why is it the last chance to buy silver? See, and then they start with the charts. And as soon as they do the charts, I'm done with it because you can't chart a fixed market. You cannot chart. How can you chart trading places? It starts at 102, goes to 142, ends at 26. How can you chart that? It's all emotional. It's all based on the crop report. Based on the crop reports, where the chart's going. So you can't chart silver because it's price fixed by COMEX. So if you see price fixing, if you see charts, just ignore it because you can't do it, especially if they break away from doing COMEX. Profit, no, nothing. Is there in there about any prenup agreement in the will? You don't care. Well, you have to get married or engaged first, and then you're going to get something in writing from her. Have an email saying, okay, you get the 17, 18 bars, you get 9 and I get 9. Or you know what? They're my dad, so I get 12 and you get 5. And you go, fine, with all the value, that I'll be happy to do that. But you need to get why are you paying for the shipping? And then you got to get reimbursed for that. If she's getting the bars, you got to get reimbursed for it. So that would be my thing. So Daria, I believe it's either 10 or 11 o'clock, probably going to sleep, but she at least told me what's going on. And see, when I watch the Stoics about women, it says women who don't really love you, who are using you, do not tell you details. Like she tells me about her daughter and her mother, and then like hear about going to the doctors. If she was playing me, she wouldn't tell me these details. Women do not, if they're not interested. Maybe they want some money from you, but they're not interested with this. Now, Jenna would tell me, and Daria does also. And they both say, I'm with you. So that means a lot. That's where we're at. So we'll have to see. I'm curious who my Russian friend is. Very curious about that. There's only one girl that I will drop everybody for. And I haven't heard from her in a while, unfortunately. So really, that's all you can look at is you got to understand the game. As I say, you have to understand it. Why do I collect these cards? Because of demand. It's a Ripken rookie. It's a Hank Aaron. Why do I get the Iserman? Because there's one. There can be only one. He's the Highlander, right? There can only be one, and I got it. Well, what do I buy? I buy things that there are strong demand for. Strong demand for Iserman 1, strong demand for Cal Ripken and Hank Aaron and Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle. I just say Mantle, but it's all those type of stars. Demand for. And then the better the condition, the less of them there are, then there's low supply. There's always demand for Mantle. If it's in good condition, there's probably less because these are in the 1950s and 60s. And so that's what you're looking at. But that's what we're doing with gold and silver. That's what we do with Rolex. Everything I say, it's because they're very low supply and high demand. And then when I break the dollar out, this is very high supply and very low demand. All these countries are getting out of that. So therefore, if all these countries are getting out, there's no demand. The demand's dropping. So I got to see who this is. Anyway. So that's what you're looking for is as people are getting out of the dollar, the demand for the dollar is going down. We know the supply for the dollar is very high, and that's what we're looking for. So we're looking, you know, we're looking to get out of high supply things and into low supply things. That's why we want to get out of money into gold and silver. And when I'm betting football, I'm looking at the stars because they are, low supply. There's not a lot of them. And I want to bet on Mahomes and Joe Burrow because I don't want to bet on Trevor Lawrence and Tagovailoa and half these guys that suck. I want to bet on the good players because they're very limited. So I want to bet on them. Profit. Yes, the prenup has to be taken care of first before the wedding for sure. Well, there's just a lot of questions that why you're paying for the shipping and what's your reward for paying for the shipping. So, I mean, it's just questions you got to get figured out, the shipping. And, if somebody had asked me, one of these Kenzie types, and they said, it sounded very similar. Oh yeah, my uncle or my mother is getting all these gold bars, and we need your help to pay for the shipping or pay for something. And I said, "Who are you? Like, why am I paying the shipping for the gold bars or whatever?" And it was a scam. But that's why I'm kind of leery when I don't know these people. Who are you? And that's what I'm looking at. And anyway, so that's what we've got to keep an eye on. That's why there's a lot of scams that you got to be careful of. You got to trust the person and make sure it is what you think it is. But I mean, Prophet, you got some questions. I'm confused by this person. I'm tired of this Telegram where it's all scam. It's all people that are sending you stuff, and it's I thought it was the wrong number, or aren't you Sue? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I do a lot of deleting on here. I can see the numbers from Russia. So what the fuck are you talking about, whoever this is? Anyway, so just be careful. Play it careful, play it safe. You don't want to lose a lot. Like I say, it's like betting on Bitcoin or stocks or gold. You must understand the game. And if you don't understand the game, you're going to lose. So that's what you got to keep in mind. Bitcoin is not real. Why would anybody in the right mind put $85,000 into it? Especially, it's supposed to be non-governmental, and yet Trump's doing that. So I don't really know. So we'll have to see. But with that, gold was holding on about 34.03. And keep in mind, when China gets it back, they're going to push it back towards 35. And so it's just a game. We understand that U.S. has the game now, and they're going to try to lower it. And I have no idea why. We need to buy it. And then maybe they're buying it now at 34. I just don't understand the correlation of what COMEX is doing and the physical. Why are they even related? If COMEX had this at $100, everybody and their mother would buy it, even though it's $60,000. or whatever his is. I mean, what does that have to do with Comex? Comex is just options, not real. So understand the game. And in your game, now if Darius said, help me, we're shipping you gold, I would think about it. I would definitely, knowing Daria or Jenna, I would think about it, because I know Jenna I've met. Daria, because I haven't met, I would still think about it. But it would have to be what I can afford, here's $500 for shipping, maybe not 4,000 or 8,000 or whatever. So be careful on that. Anyway, so it's Tuesday, and that's about it. I'll go swim and dinner with Alyssa tonight, and that's about it. So off we go. So watch your gold and silver. We did get close to 3,500. So we will see it over 3,500. Don't worry. It's just going to keep going up and up and up. There's too much buying. All these countries joining Brics, 42 or 44 countries joining. They all need gold. Brics is, all our money sucks, so we're going to have gold-backed currency. Daria's back. What's Daria doing? All right. So have a good day. Good luck if you're betting the baseball or the basketball. The draft tomorrow, really, there's very little in it. Any impact player. There's no Joe Burrow or Mahomes or anything like that. Cam Ward is nothing. He'll do nothing on Tennessee if they're stupid enough to draft him. If I was Tennessee, I would be trading that pick, because I could get Dylan Gabriel in the second or third round, who's better than Cam Ward, and get extra picks. Although I really don't, in this draft, there's really nothing. This could be the worst draft in 10 years. Cam Ward is, last year Cam Ward didn't come out because he wouldn't have been a top 10 quarterback. So anyway, the teams seem to get married to the quarterback, even if he sucks, like Pickett, like Fields, like Daniel Jones, like Will Levis. What do you, Richardson at Indy? What are you drafting these guys for? Trevor Lawrence. There's so many bad quarterbacks, but yet the teams don't. Jacksonville could get a quarterback. What are they thinking? Oh, we'll get a defensive talent. You need a quarterback. You're not winning because Trevor Lawrence sucks. Anthony Richardson, how long are you going to lose with that guy? And then he's got a strong arm. Big deal. It doesn't matter. It's not the strength of your arm. It's the ability of your brain to spot the defenders. It's the good quarterback. Joe Burrow doesn't have the strongest arm. Neither does Mahomes, but they throw it to the right guys. Burrow is smart enough to throw the ball at Chase and let him run for a touchdown. All right. So anyway, have a good day. Enjoy. Gold will be moving, so don't worry about that. And off we go. All right. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Have a good day. All right. www.teaserking.com. Sorry for the first video, but it just interneted on me, and I noticed it happens like 1 or 2 minutes in. And if I get past that, like today, this one's an hour 50, I'm fine, or 150 minutes. But it's that first 2 minutes that does it. And then sometimes I don't lose it, but it's very frustrating on my end. So I don't know. But anyway, have a good day, everybody. www.teaserking.com. Profit. Take care. And we'll see everybody tomorrow, or email me if you want. All right. Take care.